Salete, and welcome to the It's Taking Gaming Podcast. I'm Samuels.
I'm Desert Punk.
I'm Epidemic.
I'm Reed, and there is no snow.
There is no snow in the South, so you people can go buy bread now.
Yay, bread.
Alright, so Hot and Heavy, The Division. Trailers have come out. We've seen multiple trailers of The Division. What are your thoughts on it?
I want it.
You want it.
Yes, I want it.
That game's been in development for what, 3 years?
But I have
2 years
I have
now?
a sneaking feeling that it's going to be another Destiny.
Or Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was leaning more toward Watch Dogs than Destiny, but
Well,
same result.
I watched gameplay footage of it, and it's exactly like Destiny.
Like the whole concept and everything?
Like, people, or like your opponents, have levels, you have a level. Like, whenever you go to a boss fight, like, there's a no respawn zone. Like, I don't like it.
Well,
There's also like a PvP area, too, where everybody can kind of fight against each other and try to steal each other's shit.
Really? I never played Destiny.
Well, I was talking about Division. I don't know about Destiny.
No.
That's stupid.
yeah, Destiny is definitely not a favorite after the letdown of the first one. But, Ubisoft has apparently grown this reputation of showing great things at E3, as you brought up, Reed. Showing great things at E3, and then the game comes out, and it's just a terrible... Compared to what it's at E3, it looks like it came out on a system before this generation.
Yeah, compared to what they showed at E3 to hype people up, which I kind of get because, they're trying to get people excited for their game, but I think they should really show more of what they've been working on, what it's more going to look like when people actually get their hands on it. Like, why show something that is so crazy and over the top and then everybody gets it, they're all just going to be let down. They're like, what the hell is this shit? It doesn't look anything like what we saw.
Well, it's just like... they could do it the way they've done it, where they released Watch Dogs, and it didn't look that way. I like the way, I forgot who made it, but Bloodborne, when its trailer was at E3, I like the way they did it. Like, they said, here's what you're getting, and they showed a good gameplay trailer of it, and even in the commercial, they didn't try to make it look spiffy or anything. They had, like, one of the best advertising commercials I've ever seen.
That's what they do, a lot of companies do at E3, is they don't show just a gameplay trailer of what they're coming out with. They take a snippet of the game, like 5 minutes long maybe, and they up that to max settings and go crazy with it. Something that's never going to happen for most players, because they're not going to have the high-end PCs. They're going to have the middle-of-the-road PCs, or they're going to have consoles, and it's just not going to look that way. And it's kind of like, as Sam said earlier before we started, kind of like false advertising for their product.
Well, you also got to weigh in the fact that, this is, when they show these trailers at E3, they're mostly like, I don't know what stage you would call it, not alpha, really, but they're showing like a base model of what's coming out, so maybe something changed between when it came out, or when they showed it and when it came out.
If you're going to change it, why the hell are you going to make it look worse? Like, if you're going to change it, make it look better.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes...
But there is the possibility that they ran it, that they thought they could get away with making it look this way, this great, this concept, and then they get deeper into it, and maybe some other part of the game interferes with it and makes it where it's basically impossible to get that part.
So you're saying they run out of space?
Run out of space? Not exactly. It's kind of hard to explain, but in programming terms, one rogue variable over here, you don't realize it, and it affects something over here, and it's unexplainable, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. And
Like, code's kind of like a blanket. Like, if you tug over here, it pulls a string over here.
Yes.
Like, yeah. But, like, they did it on more than one game. Like,
Yeah.
they did it twice in a row.
I'm not just trying to. I still think it's wrong that they're doing it. I'm just kind of giving you at least one way that it might could be, and not them just being assholes.
I thought it was really funny in the E3 trailer. That dude's pressed up against that car and he closes the door as he goes by, and everybody freaked out about it. But I have not seen it happen one time in any gameplay video.
So the smallest thing like that.
The smallest thing. Yeah.
I saw it in that video.
Really? I didn't.
I don't think he closed the door, though, did he? He just,
When he
kind
got-
of brushed against
Well,
it, and it went off.
Here's a couple of things. Like, they did take out some noticeable things from the E3 to now. They completely changed the heads-up display of the characters. They changed the way your map appears on the ground. It used to come up this beautiful, very vibrant, map on the ground, holographic 3D display. And then in the version they just showed recently, it's like basically all gray, and it's like you can see through it a lot easier, and you don't even navigate through it the same. The The streets are less, they're less cluttered. And they even took out in the E3. I want to say that they were going through Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's not even in the game anymore. It's only going to be set in Midtown Manhattan, I believe, and just a certain amount of that. So it's not even multiple sections of the city anymore. It's just one. So it sounds to me like either they're cutting out because of, like Sam said, they don't have enough space or the certain requirements to meet what they need, or they're taking stuff out and possibly going to have it as be DLC, a la Destiny.
Oh boy, yeah, everything has to come back to Destiny.
Well, that model, not necessarily just Destiny.
When you said that, I was thinking about it, and it's just like, Ubisoft's in charge of another game that's coming out hopefully this year. I actually don't know the release date for it, but Tom Clancy's Wildlands.
I saw that, yeah.
And it seems like they're staying pretty consistent from what they're showing compared to their gameplay trailers. So it makes me wonder if they're purposely doing that or if it's just the way it works out, because...
Well, it's probably two different parts of the team working on...
That's very true. Things. I mean, it might be two different, branches of the same company.
In which case, I like the other part of the team who actually shows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that Wildlands is taking a brand new approach. So, I mean, let's think of it like this. You're taking a game that, The Division. Granted, we don't know all the little knickknacks of the game, but you've seen it before. Like, you've seen that layout before, cover-based. Sometimes, your health, or apparently a health bar, which is actually kind of rare. I kind of like the fact they're going to have a health bar and where you don't suck your thumbs to get your health back. But, Call of Duty, I'm looking at you. But you got that, something. What I'm saying is that Division is going to be what it seems like maybe a good game, but its mechanics look like it's been done before. But you look at Tom Clancy's Wildlands, and you guys remember the old Tom Clancy games, don't you?
Dude, I played it on Xbox.
Yeah, like...
Rainbow Six?
I played the first Ghost Recon ever.
Yeah.
PS2. The multiple Ghost Recons.
Yeah,
all those games.
This will be the first one that's going to be an open world, which is I'm excited for. I like the open world freedom, and yes, there's a lot of things that could go wrong with it, but the point I'm trying to get at is that they're doing something completely new, and they're staying more true to the fact than something that you've seen before, and yet they're being farther and farther off from probably what you're going to get.
Well, the Division it's following more of it's more of an MMO type style than any of really Ubisoft games have been before. Like, it's got the whole, you're playing co-op basically through the entire game, which is that's what happens when you get on WoW or when you get on the Old Republic. But it's keeping it so, I guess, confined, into that one area, Manhattan, instead of, say, like Wildlands or whatever, where it's a completely open world where you can go do what you want, So it's still kind of restricted, but I don't think it's exactly following, stuff that we've seen before. And hopefully not, because I want it to be a good game.
Right. But you know how developers are nowadays. They see the thing that sells the most and they want to mimic it, thinking they can do it as good. So that's my concern. But I mean, just on the spot right now, if the Division came out tomorrow, would you buy it?
Yeah.
No. I would wait and see how it turns out.
I'm not one for that. I've never done that. If I see a game, I'm like, oh, pretty, and I buy it. It's terrible, and I'm part of the problem. But
how about you?
That's just how it happens.
I would wait until Reed bought it, watch him play it, and then decide.
The disclaimer in there is that he is my roommate and can watch it for free.
Exactly. Free gameplay, and I don't have to buffer or take up bandwidth.
So the Ravencode said he's going to pre-order it.
You got to play it. They got to
get you in the beta, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
And that's funny that people do that now with games. It's like, if you pre-order it, you get to play the beta.
Oh, interesting fact about that. If you try to pre-order it on Xbox One, it takes you instantly to the $100 pack and not the regular $60 game. Either way, you get the beta, registered for the beta, but they're trying to get people to buy the $100 one, thinking that's the only one that you can buy. You have to search the menus and click on a bunch of different crap just to get to the regular amount.
And just as a side note, to your side note, the beta starts for Xbox One users. The beta for The Division starts on January 28th, according to
that actually
multiple
might be the best way, is to try the beta out first and see if you like it that way.
Agreed.
I liked the Destiny beta, but then it came out, everybody fucking hated it.
Right.
Well, the Destiny beta was good, but then we realized there's not much after the beta.
Basically, it was what happened in the beta was the game.
Yeah.
You got a few more levels and a couple more planets, but
Yeah, so for Xbox One users, the beta for The Division comes out on January 28th. And then for PS4 PC users, it comes out on January 29th. I think the beta is only 24 hours. I think. Because
Dang, that's short.
I may be wrong.
That's probably right, but if it's only 24 hours, screw that.
Yeah,
if that's
but-
the beta, then that tells me that they're trying to hide something.
Oh, and the beta is going to be 25 gigs.
Holy shit.
So you might want to delete that Destiny game to play it.
Oh, don't worry, I deleted that a long time ago.
But
I haven't fallen into the racket yet of buying extra hard drives for my console.
Well,
I'll just delete stuff.
I mean, Ubisoft, I think we talked about this on either off stream, like before we started, or off recording, I should say. But, Ubisoft does have a tendency to show off stuff that you think you're going to get, but you don't get. Another one that we didn't even think about, Assassin's Creed. Do you remember the very first trailer for Assassin's Creed? The very first one. When he's walking through the crowd?
Like at the beginning of Assassin's Creed, like the first opening cutscene, he's got a fucking crossbow, and you can't get it in the game.
You're talking about the first game?
Yeah, the
very first one.
The first one that
That's
came
the
on
only one I
360.
liked.
So,
It was a really good one.
So it does. I guess it does warrant the question: do developers that show, I guess the high point of their games at E3, should that be considered a small, minor form of false advertising? Because you're getting your hopes up for stuff.
I don't think it's the question is it considered false advertising. I think it's more would people
Misleading.
rather see this really spiffy, polished, max setting thing that may not happen when the game actually comes out, or would they rather see what they're gonna get, even though if it's less hype and less pretty?
Well, like if
I'd
you're
like to get everybody's kind of answer on that.
like if you go on Craigslist and you look up a car and say, "Hey, I'm going to meet you," and you go and you look at the car and it looks completely different from the picture. Like in the picture is polished up, looks really good, and then you get there and it's like a rust bucket. Like,
Exactly.
would you not be pissed off about that, or like isn't that
Well,
justified?
One thing that's kind of like, also you see a concept car. Well, when that concept car finally gets to the showroom, it's gonna look a lot different.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is when they're at E3. But if for like Assassin's Creed, where it's the opening and they show you a weapon and then say, yeah, that weapon that looks really fucking cool right there. Yeah, that's not actually in the game.
Well,
That is-
there's a whole part in the Division E3 where they show the guy using a tablet to control a drone and go around hitting people and stuff with that. Yet
Second screen game.
there is now no longer in the game. apparently.
Allegedly.
According to people who have played
Yeah.
the alpha version or whatever.
But they may
Yeah.
be cutting something like that out. I mean, maybe they couldn't exactly fit something like that into a beta. I don't know how, but maybe
Well,
they just couldn't do it.
So I guess that's where it gets to my answer is, in my opinion, if you don't think you can do it when the game comes out, don't show me it in your trailers.
No.
I want to see what I'm going to get and not be fooled by some max settings thing that I'm never going to see.
I'm right with you on that one. The only thing I got to say to it is, it's going to sound like I'm defending them, but I'm not. But
Don't you dare defend those assholes!
they're showing their game at the biggest gaming convention in the world. Wouldn't you want your product to look its best?
Well, hell yeah.
I
But
would make
you
my
know,
product
I mean-
look good though.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they should make it to where it works
how
from the
about
trailer.
Wait until the next E3 and show your stuff and just show something else
Well,
at this E3.
I think they should try and make it look as good as they can, but they should also think about the consequences of people like us, the gamers, that are going to end up buying it. And
You do that one too many times and you're going to lose those guys.
Exactly that, and then also when somebody buys the game and then they're like, "Where's this at?" Well, shit. What else am I missing out of this game? What else did they cut before that they just couldn't fucking do?
I bought this game specifically for that drone!
Yeah, now this game's been in development for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
so you got to expect some changes. Hopefully, nothing major. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous about buying it. I mean, look at the games that's come out that lately that you think you've gotten what you wanted, but you didn't. If you bought Rainbow
That's
Six
becoming a
Siege.
trend now.
Oh, it is. That's what the scary part is, because you're trying. It's gonna make you look like you're trying to fool a whole consumer base based on looks and not functionality.
Well, I don't think they're actually fooling them. It's just that
Not
gamers
fooling,
want the game, and so they don't care enough to everybody not buy this game and
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
that
Everybody not buy all this
that
DLC.
we don't want this DLC program. We don't want this
Half-made game.
half-made game, all that kind of thing. They're not showing the developers that, so the developers like, hey, this is making us money. Let's do this half-ass version where we can make even more money and it costs us way less.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? The forums are whining at us? Oh, screw them. We got money.
We can't hear them through our millions of
Well, I
dollars
guess-
through.
I just kind of, before we get too far sidetrack, I just want to get everybody's answer. Do you think they should show it like they have at E3 lately, or actually what they are going to have in-game that they know is going to work?
Yes, with parameters. What I mean by that is...
Elaborate.
Okay, I would love to elaborate. Yes, show what you're going to have, but don't put possibilities in your trailer. Like, just like we just talked about, what if the Division comes out and then that second screen drone control's not in the game? Well, that's kind of fooling people, because there's somebody out there that's excited for that.
Yeah.
So, show your best.
I was.
But
That's
show
really
what's...
cool.
Yeah, show your best, but show with parameters. You know, make sure it's going to be in your final copy. You know, Fallout 4 had the whole Pip-Boy app where you'll be able to control your inventory and stuff like that. I mean, I know it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but I used it and I thought it was pretty neat. I mean, it's not the functionality of it, it's the idea of it. You know, the fact that you could, if you really wanted to, if you're one of those big Fallout 4 streamers and like you wanted to play it, you could increase the, you know, difficulty by having someone who doesn't know what they're doing controlling your inventory for you. You know, that would provide some good entertainment. But, you know, they had it in there. They told it was gonna. They told everyone it's gonna be in the game, and the game came out and it's there.
Exactly.
So show your best, but make sure it's gonna be in the final copy of the game.
Right.
Alright, so, like, I want to go back to Watch Dogs. They have E3 mode in the code. I've seen it. You can turn on E3 mode and it will look just as good as it did at E3 throughout the entire game.
Did it have window reflections?
I don't know.
Only for PC.
Only for PC. Yes, you can only do it on PC. But I'm just like, if the code is there, why? What are they doing? They had it to where it could, like, everything would look amazing, but they chose not to. They deliberately put that in there.
That's the on-off switch.
So
Yeah.
you want them to show...
I want them to show what the game is actually going to look like. Like, if they're fully capable of making, a 10-minute long clip of what, they want it to be, I guess, or what they want to show off, that's what it should be.
Exactly. Sam?
I think they should show whatever the hell they want. Make it look as pretty as they want. But none of this sneaky shit. If the tablet isn't in there, if people are asking questions about whether or not they're going to have a multi-screen thing, if there's a function or a difference in the look of it, something that is obviously changed in the game, they need to tell us. They need to post something and say, sorry, this didn't work. We couldn't put it in there. We took it out. That's why. They need to be honest about it, because it's just, oh, yeah, that's not in there. We're not going to say anything. Just, keep playing the game and buy it. We love y'all. That's the kind of shit that
Give us your money.
drives me crazy. And I can't stand when the companies, it obviously looks like they're hiding something, or they don't want to tell you why. So that's my take on it.
It's a good view. Reed, did you answer?
Yeah, I answered multiple times,
did.
but I think they should show just exactly what's going to be in the game. If you've got that tablet and you're showing it off, but you already know that has changed and not even going to be in the game, why the hell is that in your E3 preview to show people and get them hyped? Because maybe it's only 10 people, but those 10 people are really looking forward to that damn drone, and now they don't get it at all when they go buy your game thinking it's going to be there.
That's 10 less copies of your game sold, possibly. But allegedly that game comes out on March 8th this year, so whatever they plan on changing, they don't have a lot of time to change it. If they're even going to go.
$500 drone. I've spent hours practicing with it. I was so ready for that drone.
I flew all the way to E3 just to fly the drone. And now I can't fly the drone. I cannot believe you. But, so take on the Division, yes or no? Do you think it's going to live up to expectations, or do you think it's going to be neutral, or do you think it's going to be just a crap storm?
I think
Watch
people
Dogs?
hype stuff up way too much nowadays. I don't think it'll live up to expectations, but I'm going to buy it. I hope it does.
Neutral. I'm neutral.
I think it's going to sink, like Destiny.
I think it's just going to end up being an average game now. It'll have a hype for about a month and then die.
it'll have those players that always play it. Every game has the 2,000 that stick with their game.
Yeah.
Cult following.
Well, we'll find out in a couple months. You guys playing the beta?
Um,
Because it's free, obviously.
I'd have to pre-order though to get the beta.
So not really free.
Just put $5 down at GameStop or something. Get the beta code.
I'm not sure if I'll be playing the beta or not.
I may try it. Just to see if it feels good. Like, if that makes any sense. So,
I don't think he's talking about that kind of.
well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of feel good you're thinking about, Brian.
Just the tip.
That's what you're gonna get with the beta.
Technically, the beta is just.
Yeah, it is. You're either gonna be
Tip of the
like,
iceberg.
but
Well, it turns out it only goes down about half an inch after that. But
Yeah.
sorry, guys.
But like, is there any other games that's coming out that you have seen this year that you think is gonna, like, or you don't even have to see it this year. If you, we'll put the same time frame. That E3 trailer was what, 2013? I think is what it said.
Yeah.
So, is there any trailers that you've seen that you're concerned about that you can think of off the top of your head? I got one, but
There's a trailer that I've seen that makes me concerned that it's too damn far away for this game to come out, and that's Mass Effect.
oh, Andromeda. How many trailers does it got now?
I don't know, but I want to know everything about that game, and right now it looks to me like a space cowboy bounty hunter type of game, which sounds freaking badass.
I hope people play it and stop bitching about the game.
What do you mean?
The ending.
Oh, the Mass Effect 3 ending?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been way better. The problem is when you spend so much time building up how your choices matter, you have to make some kind of goofy, like, ending choice to make all of them make sense, I guess.
Oh, no. I mean, not liking it's one thing. But there were people that were trying to get a petition to sue. Who made Mass Effect again? Besides
BioWare.
EA? BioWare? They were trying to sue BioWare. Because they said that it wasn't... I don't exactly know how the petition
Well, that just
was
shows
put,
you how great of a universe and characters that they built, that people cared that much about the story to want to get it changed. But there's only so much you can do when you're trying to make all your choices count for something in the game. And especially when you're building up the Reapers as this big giant threat, and you can't kill them off in the first game, so you have to make it stretch out. So they brought up the whole random collector thing in Mass Effect 2 to keep it stringing along, but I don't know.
I need to look into that game. I haven't looked into it that much. So
Well, besides Star Citizen,
that game will maybe
I
come
think I'll
out.
stick in the Ubisoft Ubisoft game world. I'm really looking forward to For Honor. It looks like a really cool concept. An actual like melee combat
Is
system.
this the medieval like samurai
Yes.
knight thing?
Yeah, that I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope they deliver on it and they don't, end up skipping out like we've been talking about.
The thing that bothers me about that game is it looks like, just from what I've seen, I may be entirely wrong. It just looks like
It's just the tip read.
kind of like Titanfall, where it's only multiplayer and there's no like story to the game. And I'm not a big fan of that kind of game, but it just looks so freaking badass with the knights and samurais and stuff that I want to play it. But if it's only multiplayer, that's kind of a big turn off for me.
It looks like a classier Dynasty Warriors in
Yeah.
some ways.
And it looks a lot more advanced. If it does end up being just multiplayer, I can kind of see why, because they were really trying to get a good melee combat system. Whereas with Titanfall, it was just a shooter with giant robots you could get in. That concept was not new at all or anything. So them skipping out on a story for that, or just making it a multiplayer story, that is bullshit. But this game, where they've actually spent so much time on developing a melee combat system that's actually, it's not just you press this button and you get a regular attack or a heavy attack. It's not that. It's an actual where you have to think about which direction you block, which direction you attack in, what kind of attack, and everything. So
Brian's gonna hate me for this, but can we get that with Star Wars, please?
That's all we're gonna say about Star Wars. Alright, so you're looking forward to For Honor.
yes.
I
Mr. Punk, you got anything in mind?
I haven't been like keeping up with video games as much with school and stuff, but like I knew Wildlands was coming out. That was the next thing I saw, and I don't know how they're gonna make their awesome story-driven shooter into an open world kind of thing. Like, I don't
Which is
know
what Destiny was trying to do.
I'm trying to, but
Well, I got two of them. The first one is the Doom. I think it's Doom.
Isn't that like
Bethesda's-
isn't that like a reboot or something?
Yeah,
It is,
Bethesda's doing it. They're rebooting it.
Bethesda is? Shit, I might buy it just because of that.
Yeah, the trailer looked really sick. I'm kind of concerned though about how gruesome the trailer actually was. I mean, it was
Gruesome
gameplay.
bad or gruesome good?
Like in a good way. Like, I mean, if you love like decapitations, boy, this game is for you.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder how some of that's going to fly in the final game. Just to keep it on a short note, I think it looks kind of good. I may give it a whirl and see if I like it.
What do you mean, like how it's gonna fly in the normal game?
Well,
It's gonna be too much, or
yeah, like some people are going to consider it too much because we live in a very sensitive world now. That
Well,
you
I don't-
I am so offended.
yeah.
well, I mean,
But-
I've heard of kids playing like was it Five Nights at Freddy's or something, then have to go to like a psychiatrist and stuff.
What?
And
Heard of adults that do that.
yeah, well, I mean, some like white suburban mom is gonna buy their kid whatever the fuck they want. They're gonna buy them Doom, and that kid's gonna be screwed up for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that game will really don't play it at night. It's the new Slender Man, pretty much. When that game first came out, Slender Man. Oh my gosh,
That's
The-
how
the
Doom
five-
is. I'm freaking buying it, dude. That sounds awesome.
if they can keep the atmosphere, then I will probably play the new Doom remake. But the second game I had in mind, Sam, you might know which one I'm talking about. The new Total War, the Warhammer.
Warhammer,
Total,
yeah.
I'm
Making a Warhammer Total War?
Of course, we all know that their trailers are far-fetched. It's just like they did with Rome and Shogun and Empire. But we know the gameplay is going to be good because they've backed their word up on it. They've obviously, like, they put a little caption at the bottom of theirs that says, "This is just for cinematics only." So at least they take responsibility saying, "Hey, this is not going to be in the
Maybe
game."
some other people should start doing that.
Yeah. But I'm kind of excited for that game. I'm not sure when it comes out. They actually had a Twitch Q&A session on the game a couple weeks ago, and I was only in there for 20 minutes. But what I saw of it, dude, it's going to be great. But it seems like you're going to need a pretty good PC to run it.
I have a feeling I won't be seeing Samuels for a while when that game comes out.
Oh, that's Warhammer, not Warhammer 40K.
Not that one. But it's
Although
being made by
that
Total
would be
War,
cool
though.
if they do that. If
That's
they
what
do-
I thought he was talking about.
Like,
Yeah, me too.
I don't know the difference between Warhammer and Warhammer 40K
Well,
is.
you know how Bethesda has a future RPG and a medieval RPG or fantasy RPG?
Yes.
Think of that.
But
Or
with
like
Warhammer.
40K is when you're like the Space Marines and shit. Right?
That's what I thought he
Yes.
was talking about. So I was
yeah,
like,
that's
Sam's
the only one
doing
I've
that
ever
shit.
seen.
And then Warhammer is just the medieval era.
Wait, I thought it had Space Marines in it.
Warhammer, just plain Warhammer does not.
I believe
Warhammer
it's plain
40K.
Warhammer. I'll have to do extra research.
Oh, it is Warhammer. I've been keeping an eye on it. It is Warhammer.
Oh, okay. But it's made by Creative Assembly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a company that's really got RTSs knocked down pretty good.
Oh yeah, especially for the way that Games Workshop has developed the board game for Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. It plays really well into the Total War universe or the Total War engine type stuff. I think it'll work out really well.
Just kind of a side note real quick about, you were talking about Doom and like horror games and like with gore and stuff. I want to bring up something really quick. Not really a topic for everyone to discuss, but can we please get another Dead Space game? Because it's in that vein of horror, and the first game was so amazing, and apparently 3 bombed popularity-wise, I guess.
Well, like I think they took the horror survival thing out
Well,
of it.
they added in co-op,
Yeah.
and but they also added in weapon mods and like making your own weapons at the workstations, which was freaking awesome. And I don't really understand. I guess because it wasn't as scary as the other ones, and it doesn't have the same atmosphere, so people wouldn't like it. So let's go back to the first Dead Space style, but with the new recording, the new weapon mods and system like that. Even you can even do the co-op because that's not really going to break the game from being scary if it's done right.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that series, and hopefully some of you guys agree with that they need to have another Dead Space game.
I like
Shit.
playing
Love
Dead
Dead Space.
One of the creepiest parts, they need the co-op. Because one of the creepiest parts in Dead Space 3 was when me and Reed were playing co-op.
Spoilers.
And, yeah, spoilers.
It's like 5 years old. If you haven't played it by now,
But me and Reed
Get
were
older,
playing,
scrub.
and we got into one of the missions for the like new partner guy who was going crazy. I can't remember if it was me or Reed that was playing the new partner guy. And dude, are you seeing these fucking toy soldiers? What the hell did this come from? Dude, what are you talking about? I don't see anything.
oh my god, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the weirdest freaking part.
Wait, so one of
Because
you were
basically,
having visuals?
I think it's Isaac that's freaking out. Like,
No,
he's
no.
going crazy.
No, it's not Isaac. It's the other guy.
His name
Isaac's the
Connor?
main character.
Yeah, but I thought he was going crazy in the game. Like
No, he goes crazy in the first one. He's already went through the markers. He already had that like go through his head and he got over it. It's the new guy that's just now getting introduced to the markers that's going crazy.
But I do remember that because there was like stuff all over the place that didn't belong in the area where you were, and I think I was playing the guy at that time because I remember seeing the little toy soldiers everywhere, and I looked at Sam and I was like, dude, do you see all this weird shit in here? And he's like, what are you talking about? It looks like just an empty room.
That's really great that they did that.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
See, that's you can
Good
do
job on
stuff
that
like
one thing, EA. Good job.
You can do stuff like that. You can still make it scary. So go back to that atmosphere if that's what everyone is looking for in the game, and please just give us another Dead Space game.
Yes.
Don't let the series die. It's too good.
It's I want to see another. Just speaking on horror, I'm thinking about another Condemned game. I don't know if you played it or not.
I have not.
The first Condemned was absolutely atmospheric. It was so freaky. Like, it wasn't probably scary on Dead Space terms, but it was really immersive because you go into, like, let's just say the first building you go into.
Spoilers.
No, there's spoilers here. But like you go into the first building and like you don't know where all the enemies are. And what I say that is that the enemies are randomly placed. They're never in the same spot. So like you could go
Well,
around.
that's good because Dead Space, you didn't know where they were in the first playthrough, but then you know they're going to be popping out events.
Right.
So you're not scared anymore. So if it's going to random place them, then it's going to freak you out every time you play it. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, like the cool part about Condemned is that when you were the game would be like, okay, well here's a pistol, but you only had one clip. So let's say that pistol had 7 bullets in it, and there's 12 guys in there. When you run out of ammo, you had to find yourself a weapon, which doesn't sound like fun. But when you don't know who's gonna pop out next with what weapon, they could have a fireman's axe, they could have a steel pipe, they could have a toilet seat lid, which was one of the weapons. You know, it's just like each one of those has their own degree of how dangerous they are. So like you don't know if you should just go ahead and use your pistol, or if you need to save it, or just scavenge for a weapon. But
So let me ask you this: can you fight without any weapon? Like with
yeah, you can fight with your
fist?
fist. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because that would be
There's,
kind of
like,
crazy,
certain
just having to
melee
run around
moves.
scared looking for a weapon.
There's like certain melee moves you could do. It's just like some of the enemies can do like better melee than you. So if you like ran up to them and tried to beat the crap out of you, they just like snap you over their leg and boom.
So maybe you do want to run around scared looking
Yeah.
for a weapon.
Yeah, the game
I played
was really
Bloodshot for a little bit.
Which one was that one?
It may have been like a sequel to
Was
it.
that the second one?
May have been.
Because there was Criminal Origins, Condemned Criminal Origins, or something like that, and then there was.
I was just like I borrowed it from somebody. Like they let me play it for a little bit.
I didn't play the second one. How was it?
I just played like the first level of it. It was pretty cool because you actually had to go through there and like solve like a crime.
Right.
Like a police officer had been shot or something, and like you had to like repiece what happened, and you have to go through the level while people are trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you had to like listen to recordings and like pick up background noise and stuff, and like I mean it was
Oh,
pretty
hold on.
interesting.
Do not hit me with that axe yet. I'm listening to this background noise.
Well, all right, I'll just wait. But like, the game was really fun. Like, there was one point I remember in this game. This is a long time ago. This game came out on 360, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 6 months after the 360 came out. But there was a point in the game, I didn't beat the game, I didn't finish the game, but there was a point in the game where I was, let's see, I think I was going down a hallway, and then there was just a door on my right, like it was just immediately to my right, and then maybe about 10 more feet, there was a door on the left. Well, I went in on the door on the right, because, you're like, oh, this door, I'm just going to walk in there and see what's up. And you can do...
find the loot.
Yeah, and so I think I was actually looking for a weapon. And so I was in there looking for the weapon, and then you hear the sounds of someone running down the hallway, pretty much. And you're just like, oh god. And so you sit there, look at the door, and you're waiting for someone to either run by the hallway or come in there and attack you. No one ever ran by the door. So, of course, I poke my head out, and there's a guy just sitting at the end of the hallway. And I close the door. I walk back to the room, close the door, try to wait for him. Never showed up. I walk back out. He's gone. So I'm like, I don't know where this guy went. So now you're paranoid.
That sounds pretty freaky, dude.
It is really freaky. That game was really dark, but it was so much fun. It's one of those games that pulls off horror kind of good. So if you got a 360 and you're looking for it cheap, you could probably get it for like $5 now. It's a really old game.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. But it has an M rating, so please make sure you're over whatever the age
That's
is.
something I want to talk about someday, by the way. It doesn't have to be today, but
Yeah,
letting kids
we're out of
play
time.
games that are not of the age that they are supposed to be for the rating.
Hey, we could cover that next week.
Hey!
Hey,
Look at that. Came up with a topic all by myself.
Yeah, because we're actually out of time right now. So, starting with you, Sam, any closing thoughts about anything? Nothing? Reed?
I think they need to show exactly what's going to be in their game and not hype it up and then it not happen and let down the viewers.
All right.
EA sucks.
Can
Wow.
I change my answer? I want to go to that one.
EA and your new
I do have a
13.8
summary.
Yes, sir.
Screw you, EA.
Ooh, boy, shots
Yes, sir.
fired.
BioWare, break away, please.
So, EA is hated. Got it. Final thoughts of the day. EA is hated, even though they make decently good games.
What?
Decent.
Where have you been?
What?
Okay, we will pretend that's not said. We'll edit that out.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We're editing that part.
Yeah, you'll never hear this ever, but in case you do. Alright, well guys, that'll do it for this episode of the It's Takey Gaming Podcast. It's a little shorter than normal, so we're happy with that.
Don't we were down.
Huh?
2 people. Sweat shorter.
Why it's shorter?
We were down 2 people.
Oh yeah, we did not have the company of Wargear or Ravenquote here, so if you guys are listening to this,
Fuck you.
I was waiting for one of you guys to say something like that. But that'll do it for this week of the It's Takey Gaming Podcast. Make sure to tune in next week when we have something else to talk about. So until then, if you want to hear something that you want to hear us talk about, or if you want to give any kind of feedback, let us know on any of the social media or leave a comment below. And we will see you guys next week. So everybody say bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, no mortals.
Bye, mortals!
God dang it. Okay, don't wear earphones.